Welcome everyone. Once again, you are here with Giri, the strongest artist Oni. Hey, anyway, yeah, we're gonna get going. Gonna do some Arknights today. I was originally planning on drawing Toddy Fawns, but I kind of changed my mind last minute to do Neon instead. She seems to be a bit more popular anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. Anyways, otherwise, I'm just gonna hop in and get going. Um, Nothing too exciting to report. Oh, actually, one little thing. Tomorrow I did have to, if you were watching the schedule at the start of the stream at all, you probably would have noticed the time on the schedule is a little different from what's on the Twitter. Yeah, changing that a little bit last minute here because something came up in the evening, so I'm gonna move that forward a few hours for tomorrow. But no biggie. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'll make sure to mention the edit on Twitter after the stream. Otherwise, we're good. Anyway, yeah, just gonna get in, do some doodling, see what we can get. Am I starting with the head? It always gets stiff if I start with the head. Let's not do that. Let's see. I think I want to start shoulders. Maybe crossed arms. Arm on hip could be fun. Crossed arms is like, does she do crossed arms? No, she doesn't. Crossed arms could be fun. Seems like oh no, she does do crossed arms because she does like the jacket shoulder thing. Okay. For some reason I thought she did. Alright, well, we're gonna do hands on hip. Just because it'll be a little more interesting, I think. Bring that in. Get the hip like there-ish. I'm kind of tempted to do her Zhao Bai or whatever, the dress. I'm not very good with Chinese words, unfortunately, forgive me. But her alternate costume has a cool dress on it. I'm kind of tempted to do that. But I might do the base costume. I'll ponder it while I get the pose worked out. Let's see. I want shoulders that way, hips that way, I think. It doesn't make sense with the pose. Something. I'm gonna have to ponder a moment. Yeah. I'm gonna do the hands on the hip. It's gotta be the shoulder up arm has to do that. So it has to be like that. Which leaves her feeling kind of bent over for some reason. Yeah, I don't like that. I guess that I just made those too long. I don't know. I need a moment here. Wait. Can you guys? Okay, yeah. Can hear me. Ah, that's why I couldn't hear my own thing going on. Okay, this makes sense. My own. The volume gets saved separately for everything on my thing, so for each format thing. So when I plug the headphones in, it was muted. All right. I was like, why can't I hear myself? I wonder, could we have her holding some small object, maybe? That might be fun. What do we got that she could hold? What does she seem like the kind? Oh, carries that fan. Yeah, that'd work. Oh wow, this is almost a reverse of her base art. I just realized. Wow. Nope. I mean, it wasn't intentional, so it happens, I guess. We'll just stick the fan in, call it a day. Ooh, I didn't grab it, but maybe if we did like a bikini version. It is hot in summer time right now here in America, so it would be an appropriate time to do the bikini version. Maybe we replace those with like sunglasses. Who knows? Let's see. Oh, this is gonna be a real quiet day, ain't it? Pretty much no one's here. Oh well. Let me make sure I can see chat though, just in case. There we go. Be nice if we could get her dragon spirit in this picture as well. I don't know how difficult that'll be though. We may or may not, depending on how time's looking at the end. All right, what do her claws look like? We get a good look at these. No, they're not that different from normal human hands. They're just red and tattooed. Interesting. They're not like claws proper. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that certainly makes this a lot easier. All right, there's that. All right. Do we want to do the... Yeah, let's do the 2 fingers as one here. Just because it often works out well. It's a neat trick, but humans rarely separate all of their fingers when they move their hands. Often the pinky and ring finger will kind of be together, or the middle and ring finger will kind of be together. Like the ring finger just doesn't act on its own independently very often. You'll note that it's nearly impossible to hold your ring finger out straight, where you can hold out any other finger out straight by itself. As a result, a good trick to drawing hands can help to stick the ring finger next to, just immediately adjacent to another finger every time you draw it. And then slightly separate the other fingers. Hey. All right. Oh. That doesn't look bad for a thumb. I think since we're going with a pose that's kind of similar to her base pose, to one of her base art poses, I'm going to do the that traditional Chinese style dress there, just because I think that'll look a little better. So we'll bring that up. And it's got like the little bow things. Then this piece here, it's going to be a little hard with the hand there, is going to curve around to hide behind the leg. But over on this side, we're pretty much going to get it dropping straight down as the other leg pulls back a little bit. Oh, that's a great opportunity to highlight her tattoo. Something like that. I'll have to take a closer look, make sure I get it correct. It's something like that. And I wonder why that happens sometimes. No biggie, though. I want to put a little more curve into that leg. Though we might cut off a little higher. I feel like that waist is a little small even on this. Or not waist, but below the waist. The waist itself is a little big. All right, let's see. So we're going to have the... Alright. Mark the ribs. Gonna be about there, I guess. That seems about right. Yeah, which means that her shoulders are definitely too big in this picture. Let's fix that. Ooh, much better. Pull the small of the back a little more forward there. Let's drop the height of that shoulder a little bit. Now we're going to get the neck coming up behind there. And it looks like, based off how we've drawn most of this other stuff, we're looking a little bit underneath her. So she's looking down at the camera a little bit, which seems appropriate for her. She seems very proud. Though I haven't read any of her lore, so maybe I'm completely off base there. Alright, let's see here. Come off the collar, you get that, and then you it comes over, and I guess that must go like that, based off of maybe I should just tuck it the other way. I don't know what the significance of the left versus right is, if there is a significance to it, so I will have to mirror this picture. Just to, not accidentally fumble something. Alright, let's flip that. Image rotation, horizontal. There we go. Alright, and then we're going to need to bring this other shoulder down a lot, I think. To both keep it in perspective and have the shoulders be sloping. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then let's see, her arms are a bit thinner than what I got here. That elbow is still pretty pointy. That forearm is way too long. We're gonna need to... Something's feeling really off about that arm. It's like it's... I think I have this part of the torso too long. Yep. That was part of it, for sure. And I think that needs to come down to about there. Which pulls that down to like there-ish. Something's still wrong with the forearm. A, it's still too long. Might be a little bit in the waist. Might be a little bit here too. Man, I'm not getting that arm pose right at all, and it hurts my brain. I think I'm maybe going too straight. Yeah, that could be. Let's try and go a lot squishier and curvier. Maybe. Maybe there? Oh, that's not bad. Hmm. Maybe more like that? That feels too much. Hmm. Seems pretty close. I think the shoulders might still be too tall, weirdly. At least from this angle. Like, maybe yeah, that seems more in line even still. So yeah, I think I may have like wildly messed those up originally. Somewhere in there. Assuming I don't drop my pen too much. See, and this is why I didn't draw the head, is because drawing the head would have thrown me off for sure, making sure that the shoulders were lined up right. Are those still? I think a little bit, though not as bad as before. But it's like that. Needs to. Maybe not quite that much there. Yeah, let's go with that. So just keep cutting thinner and thinner, bringing it down more and more, and it just still looks so tall on her. It is a very vertical style, so got to be aware of that, but like it's going to naturally make her look quite tall. We got to make sure it doesn't look supernaturally so. Or not supernaturally so, but like, brokenly so. That looks pretty close, I think. This arm. Wow. Alright. Let's get the head in now that we think everything else is relatively okay. Make sure I got a picture of that up just so I don't wildly mess it up. All right. We're coming in a little below, so we may need to take that into, well, we will need to take that into consideration, I should say. That's a bit of a wide chin. We'll narrow that slightly. Man. Mm-hmm. Does she use the same hairstyle for her alternate costume? No, she has it like pinned up. I don't. And she's got like a braid in her alternate costume. I'm using her base. She has a braid in both. We're ignoring it. I like that nice bit of negative space we're getting here under her chin, framed by the hair coming down. Very stylish. Now let's nail these horns in just a little bit firmer. All right. And then one little chunk there. Nice. Oh, fun thing. I got my Angelina up to E2 today in Arknights. So, yay, win. That makes my 4th E2 unit. Which, not very many of them. But, you know, I've been maxing out each of my E2 units, so when I drop them, they do their job. Which does feel good. Feels real good to drop the Juggernaut style things. You know, having a lot more E2 units would be nice, but considering how many times I can substitute my Chen or Mostima for other roles or other units in the same category, just because even if their skills don't quite line up, they just go through it with sheer force, is real nice. And my Perfumer, which can substitute for basically any medic at this point, since she's maxed out. Well, not any medic, but, you know, any low star medic. And provides that nice team-wide heal, team-wide regen. Neck might be a little long, given that she's got that, like, collar thing. And the angle on that collar is wrong. It should be more like that. And yeah, the neck, that makes it how obvious, or makes it very obvious how too long the neck is. It should be more like that. There we go, something like that ought to be about right. And the little curl that it has at the end. That should be an outward bend. Is this the right width? I feel like it's pretty close. It might be a little... maybe... I think I might need to change the angle slightly. Is it? That, I think, needs to... maybe, well, a little short. Or like that, because the small of the back was looking too small. Yeah. That's feeling... Oh, hey, Code. Thanks for dropping in. Glad to have you as always. Just drawing away on Neon here. I had been considering doing Toddy Fawns today, but kind of last minute opted for Neon because she's way more popular. Though I still do plan on drawing Toddy Fawns at some point because she's pretty cool looking. Let's see if we can, fill in some of that picture now. Now that we got the pose pretty worked out, we can really take advantage of all the space we got. Horns need a little bit of adjustment, but that's fine. And so does that eye. More like that. Good. Is that right? Could open some space up there if we kind of Dutch angle it a little bit. And then I do want to bring in just a hint of that dragon in the background. Let me see if I can do this. We're gonna drop in just the vague shape right now. We're on a different layer. Why am I even bothering to avoid her? And then we could bring that real big and just keep it low key. So it's low contrast, fits into the background pretty well there. And do it something along those lines. Something like that. Could be a pretty cool way to bring that dude in. Yeah, we're gonna be doing the Imperial Night near the end of this week. I had to shuffle things around in a bit of a weird order when it came to handling that. So the Imperial Night got pushed back towards the end of this week as opposed to being earlier, just because I got an art show where I guarantee the Imperial Night would not sell prints, but there's other stuff I shoved in earlier this week that might. So I just wanted to make sure that, I had an extra painting or two for the art show. That's all. But yeah, Imperial Night, end of this week. For sure. Sunday. You know, normal monster truck rally time. Alright. Sounds good. Alright, does she have any, like, patterns or designs on this dress? She does. She's got, like, a little dragon in here-ish. Yeah, and I feel like her chest is a little too big. I'm gonna try and bring that down a touch. Tried a couple times to bring her chest down just a touch, and both times I've gone, yeah, but it looked better before, so we're gonna see this time. That actually doesn't look terrible. Also thinking of asking if it's possible to have the right leg below the knee be replaced by a cybernetic one, mostly. Oh, yeah, that's totally possible. Cybernetic legs are totally doable. And that right? Yeah, that range. Just framing out our shadow zones. Fitting with our perspective. That needs to come up just a little bit, I think. That fits with perspective. Other hand. Let's get that. Just want to push that elbow back behind her, because we could actually push that a lot back behind her. If we grab the arm, and then the more back behind her we push it, the less we have to worry about it. Yeah, like that. Oh yeah. Something in that range. Alright, upturned hand. Let me think. It's a little awkward. Let's see, and then there'd be like the thumb coming up here-ish. And we can put the fan in. I think that's got to get a little more volume in it. Not like that. Something not right there. We're seeing the wrist from a weird angle here, so it's a little odd. Oop. That might be more it. Does it kind of show a little bit of the palm wrapping around? I don't know. That hand definitely isn't looking great, though. And it's just an odd angle to show that particular part of the hand at, I feel. I think fan's off angle too, given that grip. It would be a lot more like that. What color should I do? The flag banners on my Chaos Knights. I'm thinking gray, as I haven't used that one as much. Yeah. I mean, gray's a pretty solid choice. It blends very easily into everything, as it's kind of a not color. I mean, like, you can add a very tiny amount of anything. If you add a very tiny amount of blue, you can make a gray a little bit cool. You can add a very tiny amount of yellow to make a gray kind of warm, which gives gray a ton of flexibility. Even so, almost everything I paint will use some degree of gray. I rarely use it as like a major color, just because grays tend to fade into the background a little bit, like they're less noticeable, but doesn't mean that you can't use it that way. If everything's super brightly colored, having one thing be gray makes it stand out. As if everything's high saturation and one thing's not, the thing that's not will be the thing that catches people's attention. The contrast itself matters more than what color is doing the contrast. Yeah, gray wasn't used much on the pauldrons. It was only really on the spikes, and technically the trim if you want to count the silver gunmetal. I mean, I would generally block silvers in with grays just because they visually register in a very similar manner. As they're both very low saturation, but I mean, gray has like I said before, gray has a huge dynamic range that you can work with. You can always make gray a viable color for stuff like that. We're getting there. That silhouette's looking about right. There we go. Yeah, I think that's probably close enough. The one thing I will say is if you're gonna use gray, you probably for like an accent piece like your heraldry is let's see, yeah, for the flags and banners, I would try and do a colorful gray. So what I mean by that is we're gonna grab a very neutral gray here. You can then add yellow to your gray here and blue to your gray, and then we'll even blow the yellow way out before we go to white. And you can get and it will still maintain kind of that feeling of gray because it doesn't have a lot of color in it. But you can get quite colorful little accents in there, and then you can even grab like a super high saturation and do what we call a saturated core right along the edge of the light or shadows. And doing that will allow things to look gray or to be gray and still have a lot of eye-catchiness to them. You don't really have yellow. I mean, you can use orange for that too. It's not that important which one. Yellow is typically what people do for going to when you blow out a light. Blowing out just means that it's kind of like an overexposed sort of deal. So like if you had been using old cameras that used like actual film, if you pan the camera over a light bulb or something, you'll get kind of this look here of a white spot with this kind of like yellow ring around it. But what I have though would be mixing in bright green or purple work. You could probably do like a bright grass green kind of deal, or like a lime green would also probably work in there. Like a very yellow green should work. If we color shift this layer here just a little bit towards a little bit towards the green, it still accomplishes the job pretty well. But adding that little bit of color in that saturated core look there helps grays pop a lot more. without dramatically changing them away from being gray. And then purple would work for the shadows. Depending on your purple, if it's a very red purple, like purples in this range here tend to kind of in this-ish range here tend to feel warmer. I mean, that's it. Whereas, you know, if you grab purples more leaning towards blue, they're going to feel pretty cool. So you can still work kind of that, what would I call it? Like the hot pink sort of purples. Anything in that hot pink range can definitely work for adding warmth. Whereas if you're going more core purple, it's going to look more cool. All right, I think Neon here's base sketch is probably good, so we're going to drop the opacity as per usual and start doing some line art. Guess I'll try paint mixing when I do the banner then. I think that the purples I have are more on the darker blue purple. Yeah, that if you're using citadels, anything labeled purple in there is probably going to be on the dark purple. The only thing that is in that purpley range that I recall off the citadel line that's on the warm purple is Screamer Pink, which is, I would say, while it is called Screamer Pink, it is absolutely from that hot pink sort of category, which is really more of a super saturated bright purple, or hot pink specifically is a super saturated bright purple. Like, you have to add the blue to the red to get a hot pink look. All right, let's see. So we got a little curl in here. And nice. It's easy. Oh, she's got like weird earring hair clips. Is that just her base art that has that? Is that? Yeah, she doesn't have those in the dress, so we're not drawing those. Because I don't really understand what's happening with those. Those look weird. Kind of halfway between earrings and hair clips, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I have Phoenician purple as a base and would be using that or Caliban green as bases with a thin coat of Dawnstone gray over. It's going to be pretty muted. If you're looking for muted, that absolutely is fine. I don't recall Phoenician purple off the top of my head, but I know Caliban green is a pretty desaturated green, all things considered. If it's the one I'm thinking of, and then I don't remember Dawnstone off the top of my head. I don't buy mini grays because I typically just buy the blackest black and the whitest white. for paints and mix all my grays by hand. I often mix a lot of paints by hand, so to get the exact thing I'm looking for. I rarely do paints purely from a bottle. Love her horns. They're really cool looking. Alright. There's like a little side stub here. Cool. That doesn't quite feel right. This needs to be a touch shorter and a touch thinner. Well, yeah, my original sketch was a little closer, I think. There we go. Dawnstone is on the lighter side. It's a layer paint, so it's kind of thinner. I can probably build from Caliban to Mont. Yeah, good. It's hard to add saturation to paints, but you know, you're also working in the Warhammer universe, so having saturated colors isn't always desired. You know, you're not painting on orcs, so you don't need the yellowest yellow and the reddest red and the pinkest pink. Yeah, well, it's very hard to add saturation and brightness to paints. Normally, when you mix them, you always go down in saturation, no matter what you're mixing, just because you are less pure of the color. Brightness is a bit of a 50-50. You can go brighter, but going brighter always requires adding like a white or a yellow typically. I almost never use yellow as yellow. I almost always use yellow as a mixer, and it is what I use to go from mid-tone to bright tones on a lot of stuff. So it's definitely useful to have yellow around if you're not used to having it. I would pick some up if I were you. But or the purplest purple. I tried to spell an orc accent. Yes, or the purplest purple. the purplest purple. A little shadow there. Chin. That might be a little too sharp. Never really used yellow or had any ideas of where to use it. So where I like to use yellow is even when I'm doing even when I'm not like blowing out lights or anything like that, I use yellow taking red. So if I'm doing highlights for red, I will do oranges and yellows to highlight it. If I'm doing highlights for green, I will do oranges and yellows to highlight it. So yellow ends up being kind of a half the spectrum, and I won't necessarily always use a pure yellow there. Sometimes I'll mix the yellow like half and half with whatever color I'm highlighting. But the yellow, because the sun is a yellow light, yellow as a highlight color looks very natural to a lot of human eyes. So you often will want to yellow shift as you go brighter. But yeah, like I said, I don't use the yellow as yellow hardly ever, because I don't know what I would paint yellow. I don't paint orcs ever or any other like checker stuff. But I do use yellow as a highlighter for like half the color spectrum. Otherwise, so it is still a very useful color, even if I don't necessarily use it for making things look yellow. That being said, I do go through yellow far slower than most other colors because it's only used to accent. It's only used to highlight by me, so yeah. After the stream, I'll post some pictures of some miniatures I've painted where I've used yellow in that way, and it might give you a better idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, yellow is pretty much mandatory for if you're trying to paint fire and lava and stuff. That's while people often think of it as being very red or orange, you are going to be using more yellow than almost anything when painting fire and lava. Yellow is also really useful if you ever have like bolters or flamers and stuff, and you want to make their the inside of the barrel glowing warm and stuff. Yellow's super useful for that. Have I ever painted 40k minis? I don't think I have painted anything 40k specifically. I know I've painted a Warhammer Fantasy at one point, but I don't. For the most part, I don't paint army stuff. I paint hero miniatures. Your singular stuff used for like tabletop or not war games, but like D&D and stuff, which most Warhammer figures don't really fit well into that. Oh, I did watch Hunter the Parenting. That was neat. I enjoyed it. I even shared it with a few of my other friends that also play Vampire and stuff. So, yeah, thank you for recommending it. I only watched the first couple episodes, but still, quite an amusing little show. Yeah, that's probably the best choice we got. I don't know. That was weird. You blinked your eyes and they blinked like crazy. That is weird. Sometimes that happens. You know, maybe you got a little speck of dust or something floating into it. I actually took my green, purple, and gray heraldry from Warhammer Fantasy Winds of Magic lore. Oh, neat. Green for life, purple for death, gray for shadow. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. So we got like a little thing that goes across here, and it's got like 3 little loops. And it does the same over there. Oh, I see. That's not what I thought it was originally. So that's not up the side. That's just a decorative. And then it just splits normal there. Okay. Because there's like 2 of those little loop things down here with a couple strings between them. But they don't, the dress slit doesn't go up underneath them, and I thought it did originally. There we go. So it's like that more. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Here. What should I call the war dog? It's a corn worship one. I mean, if it's just a war dog, Let me think. You don't want to do anything particularly big. I mean, you could go with something like a Gorgon. Gorgons are... There's several of those out and about. So, you know, a lower tier ranking war dog would go well. If you have like a war dog leader or whatever that would be, I don't know if that's how that works. You could do like Typhoon or Echidna there, the ostensible parents of the Gorgons. That's the name of my Helvern squads for Imperial Knights. Oh, right. You were using demon names for your thing. That's right. And I had recommend the Ars Demonica to you. All right. So what do we have for low-ranking demon names? I mean, you could go with like Imp or something if you're just looking for a generic one. Otherwise, Sorry, not Ars Demonica. Ars Goethia. Let me think. I think Imp might be a good way to go. If you wanted, you might be able to bring in like a Fae name could be fun, because they're, you know, if you go back to more traditional Fae lore, they're barely, you know, they're half a step away from being very demonic-esque in a lot of ways. They're not actually demonic, but man, they are close. But that also does kind of tie in with your nature theming a little bit. If you had a Fae name there. So, you know, I don't know what exactly would work off the top of my head, but like you could do like Doulahan or something, which is, if you wanted a like a Fae reference, which, yeah, ties into your nature thing. Doulahan's being kind of like an Irish Grim Reaper. Kind of. Like, that's a... They fill the role of ferrying dead souls around to some degree, but they have a lot more going on. I do like the Fae idea. The big one I have decided to call Oberon. Oh, all right, yeah. That would work great if you've got one called Oberon. Having several others that are lower tier fairy names would absolutely go perfect, because then they'll feel like a cohesive squad. I mean, if you have an Oberon and you don't have a Titania yet, definitely get a Titania in there. But you don't want to do that with a War Dog, obviously, because you're gonna want that to be something big. Puck. I know Puck is a particular fairy and a bit of an asshole, if I recall, but wasn't exactly one of the strongest. I believe he was in the messenger tier. In the fairy courts. It has been a very long time since I read Midsummer Night's Dream, which is kind of the most prominent piece of lore left on Fae culture anymore, just because of the loss of traditional Irish mythology that has taken place. Or rather, traditional Celtic mythology. It isn't Irish specific because there was a lot of overlap between some of the old Scot and Irish mythology. Not pure one or the other, but there was some overlap. Which is where a lot of that Fae stuff came from. I'd have to look. But, in theory, if Titania might be a noble pilot of... Oh, my... Yeah. Titania could be the pilot. And the big corn knight will be the Seraphim. The other one you could do, if you got an Oberon in there, is you could do the Jotun, which are a race of giants in Nordic mythology. Might do well for giant robot things. A race of evil giants, I should specify. That might be a cool naming theme. And is vaguely Fae adjacent. Very not, but very vaguely. Though, if you're doing if you do like Jotun for a squad or something, I would also make sure whoever leads that squad is Nidhogger. Just because, you can't do Nordic theming names and not include Nidhogger. But yeah, if you got yourself an Oberon, I'd probably get a Puck in there for something. There's a few others, I'm sure. You could go with kind of just generic type names as well. The Doulahan, Tommyknockers, Leprechauns. What are some of the others. Undines. Those were creepy ones. Those are like they're very Undines are similar, I guess, to they're kind of mermaid-esque, but they lure you in and drown you and turn you into one of them kind of deal. They're sailors' souls that were lost at sea, if I recall, something like that. Let's fill that in. Cool. I like a little we got like little catches there. Okay, I got a few little scatters there. Let's draw in that face, though. Gotta think on that. How do we want to do that? I like her eyes. Very red. I really like that look of that red eyeshadow that's started to show up in a number of characters lately. It's very striking. And by lately, I mean like the last few years. a fan of that mouth. It's not bad. We can make that work. Such thin eyebrows. All right. I probably need to write stuff out for all knights of my Chaos household, which I'll probably rename as House of Broken Blades. House of Broken Blades isn't too bad to say. I've definitely heard worse. Oh, but household names are generally single words. Interesting. I did not know that. All right. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, all things considered. I'm quite happy with that line art. All right, let's take a close look at her legs there. See what we got. She's got like a tattoo there on her leg. follow that line. We got kind of a triangle piece here. There's a rectangle that goes along with the triangle. Then over here, running a parallel, we got like this box thingy. It's hard to tell from this particular graph. Let's take a look at what this. It's completely under her. Oh, okay. I see. So in this one, it's like that. This is thinner and goes up there, cuts off. Goes about the same distance down, it looks like. Opening. All right. That goes almost to there. As my Imperial ones are House Solenbear, which is smashed together Latin for solar rain. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would not know what to name that. And that just goes out to like there. Yeah. And this is a weird tattoo. All right, and then that appears to just kind of go up. No indication that it extends beyond that. Let's see. So arms switch kind of at the elbow. Good to know. She's got a lot of little complicated designs in her arm. That's... I don't know if we're going to be drawing those today, because that's going to be a pain. Anyway, I think it's time to get some color in here. We've been going for 2 hours already and don't have any kind of indication of color yet, so yeah, probably about time. Fortunately, I think color's going to be pretty easy this time, or at least I'm hoping. No, a little yellower. A little paler. That's pretty close. I'll probably figure out something later. I'll probably mix something holy and something nature related together, like hollowed ground. Something holy and nature related. Well, I mean, you could go with Avalon. Avalon is the name of the Fey Kingdom, as well as the name of King Arthur's holy, the sheath of King Arthur's holy sword. That being said, hollow ground is certainly not a bad option. Though I feel like the nature related might get lost a little bit, and that hollowed ground is also just a phrase that appears in religious stuff, holy stuff. Why am I coloring the arm completely skin tone? It is definitely not. Oh well, we're here now. Pushing through for now. We'll worry about getting it red later. Mm-hmm. That finger ended up too thick, the pointer finger there on that hand. Oh well. It's not a major problem. All right, skin tone down. Let's throw a hair tone in, which is very close to her skin tone. Just a little more orange, a little more saturated. I will use hollow ground though, just finding the second word to. You will use hollowed. Just finding a second word to use. Glade, maybe? As that's definitely evokes that nature feeling. Here, let's get that red in. Boy, is that some red. Mhm. There we go. Let's see, and she's got like just a couple little strands of super red in her hair. Nice. And then of course her arms. Let's see. Would Cherub be a good knight for a war dog? Also, from earlier, leader of war dogs are bigger knights, and they are bound to them. Would Cherub be a good? I suppose. Cherubim. Cherubim, I believe, we're in the messenger tier for the angel hierarchy. I don't know my angel hierarchy very well, if I'm completely honest. Alright, here we're gonna get told to shoulder here. Let's there we go. And then just wait. Alright. Let's see. Back to the arms real quick. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to bring in those weird color patterns anyway. Because that's something. That's a lot. That it changes. Alright, so we got like greens and all sorts of stuff. So let's lock that opacity. That'll make this easy. We're just gonna kind of doodle I think. Not really do the designs proper like, but just kind of hint at them, because it kind of looks like that's what the original artist did anyway. They don't seem to be particularly coherent, just kind of indicating vague shapes. Yellow, green in there. Uh, let's see. You said you have painted Warhammer Fantasy before, and I asked about 40K. So you have heard of / painted something from Age of Sigmar? I've heard of Age of Sigmar. I have not painted anything from it. Not that I'm aware of. No, the one thing I painted was like a one-off unit that someone had bought me as a gift at one point. So I don't even know where it was from in the Warhammer universe. Just that I'm pretty sure it was Warhammer Fantasy. So, can we chalk? I think it's a little chalkier. Yeah. Okay. That's not bad. We'll darken that spot there because it was a little too light. Yeah, that kind of gets that tattooy feel. All right. What color is her dress? Her dress is kind of in that pale, like a pale version of her own hair color. Oh, oops, locked layer. Derp, derp. That one. Yeah. Maybe more in here. Yeah, that's probably about right. Well, I'm actually thinking of getting a character or other small thing from the Civilian faction of Age of Sigmar, mostly because of how cool they look. Oh, yeah. I mean, I do think there's a lot of really cool looking miniatures in Warhammer. It's just, I don't really want to pay $100 for an 8-man box often when I only need one mini from it for a tabletop character hero. So I just don't buy it. I just have very little reason to go out and buy Warhammer stuff often. Spirit Fey elves mixed with trees apparently have powers over life. Oh yeah, that sounds cool. All right, there we go. All right, and trim of the dress. What about character models? They come as single models, except exalted sorcerers, and some of the bigger ones might work for big homebrew monsters. Yeah, certainly could. Oh, even then they're kind of pricey. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly not a bad thing. I just don't go to, simply because of a lack of singles. Like, sure, they have a few. It's just not the first place I go to shop when I'm looking to buy a new miniature. In general, when I'm going to pick up new miniatures, the first place I will typically take a look at is probably Reaper or Hassle-Free Miniatures. Hassle-Free is more for modern stuff, whereas Reaper has a great selection for fantasy stuff. Those are going to be one of the first places I'll look at. Other places I like to look at is I really like Kingdom Death's miniatures a lot. There's a lot of really good miniatures in the Kingdom Death line, so I will often take a peek there. I have a bunch of those already. I already own a bunch of those, and but I just haven't painted yet too. So that makes it pretty convenient for. Oh, I need a new miniature. Here, let's just paint up one of my mini Kingdom Death miniatures. All right, and then the dress has a bunch of like that red pattern on it as well. Or like red to the trimming as well. So we'll add that. I mean, honestly, the bases aren't bad. Most maps, the most 1-inch maps, a 30mm base fits just fine on. So that's rarely been an issue. Most of the miniatures I have are on 30mm bases. I do occasionally buy from Hassle-Free 20mm bases, but I only use those for really small models. or models with really narrow poses or something. But for the most part, 30 millimeters is fine. I mean, sure, if you're packing like a ton of units in right next to each other, 30 millimeters gets a little cumbersome, but generally you don't have more than 2 or 3 models immediately next to each other at any given time for things like a D&D fight. You might have just played on small maps. Yeah, it's possible you were playing on maps that were less than 1-inch squares. I've certainly seen some of those around. Oh, you know what? We never drew in Neon's tail. That we're gonna have to fix. That's a pretty major element to forget. Probably just because the reference art isn't her tail is not the most prominent feature in a lot of it. But we can quickly get in and fix that. Okay. Problem solved. Alright. What color is her tail? It's like kind of gray and washed out there. That one, it's pretty red. Alright, we're gonna go with red and kind of a skin tone underside. There we go. And then this is chaotic flurry of reds and whatnot over there, so let's actually darken that just a little bit to push it behind the elbow. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, time to like make her face look good. We've been noodling around on everything but the important bits. Oh. All right, let's take a good. Ooh, blue eyes. Blue eyes, pink dragon. Oh, I can hear my computer groaning away. It's pretty hot in this room, unfortunately. That's never a great sign. I don't think it'll be an actual problem, but the computer is uncomfortably warm. I'm uncomfortably warm. Alright, let's get in here and really get inside. Nice. Let's see, real feel of 95 right now, and it's night. Yeah, I know, man. I understand the suffering. It's probably in the mid 90s in my room right now. Might only be 80s, but it's definitely above the 70s. And it's it's rough. But you know how I was talking about that yellow thing? That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm putting a layer of yellow to highlight all this kind of orange pink hair, and then I, like I did with the nose, I will come in and bring white over a lot of that, and it will make it look very shiny. just a little bit darker right there at the edge. Really pop those shadows. Then I want to here and just touch up the red streaks in her hair, really saturate them. Get in here and do the horns. Yep. So that's probably the wrong angle. We're gonna want more over there. Yep. Let's see. And we'll do a little bit purpley. Pull in with the shadow. Let's bring that a little redder. There we go. Sweet. Gives that red look. Slight pink shift, slight. There. Add a little bit of shading to the inside of her ear there. Let's see, we're going to need a little bit more of that shadow skin tone for under the chin. Little shadow there, little shadow there. Replace that. Little shadow there. Soften that side. And let's add a little bit of shadow over here. Cool. Blushies. That might be a little bit too much. Soften those blend them a little bit. A little bit more. Nice and thin. Let's get a little bit more red for her eyeshadow. Eye highlights. Let's get a little more color in these eye highlights. Let's bring just a touch of that green we used for the arms in. Maybe just another touch of the red. That's looking pretty good. Let's say that's probably decent for the face. Soften that outline, right? Ooh, no, not that. Yeah, that's a little better. Add a few little stray hairs. Let's work a little bit on those lips. Not quite to that wonderful kissable state yet. Just a little more. Then let's Cladodge. That's not bad. Oh, sorry for being quiet a bit. Heat is setting energy. Oh, I know, man. I know exactly the feeling. That's how I am. It's I'm pushing through on a will and a prayer here, mate. Doesn't help that I started this stream by pouring myself started just before this stream by pouring myself a cup of hot coffee. But you know, that was my own fault. Just softening up the face a bit. Try and make her look that much cuter. All right, that's looking pretty good so far on that face. I think I'm gonna move on, add a little bit of shading to some other spots, and and then call it. Actually, let me jump to the skin tone. Where was this one? just do that. Let's add a little tiny bit of... Oop, that's way too much. That we can get. And there. That'll give that skin a little bit of shine there. Got a similar one up in the shoulder. That'll work well there. Back to this layer. Let's see, that would probably up there. We'll add a little bit up there. That kind of curves around. I'd say, oh, we need to touch up that fan just a little bit. We'll bring in the same color you dark trim there. And it's got little tiny bits of writing on it. I have no idea what it says, because it is too small to read. There, it's got scribbles on it now. Doesn't matter. The time it would take to figure out what it says and to write that correctly is not worth it. Not in this heat. Alright. That's looking pretty good so far. I'm going to add a little bit of shade to there. A little bit of shade to there. Arms are probably fine. And jump to the background. Which, nope, that is not the background. So we need to jump further back. Yeah. Cool. Whew, almost done. Almost done. We're gonna sample that hair color. Drop to a dark gray. Throw it in over that whole mess. Do a slightly brighter gray. Start pulling in some reverse vignetting. Ooh. Then go way, way darker. Now let's get some of those dragon teeth in there. Grab the red for its striking eyes. And then it's got like its big horns. kind of curving in here. Yeah, something like that. Some indications of it having shape, a little bit of eye socketing going on. We'll probably have to do a contrast squash on this thing, just to push it into the back a little more, maybe even a low bar. Oh yeah, and then the big old whiskers. Alright, cool. Background dragon looks scary. I like it. Yeah, I think it's quite appropriate. I mean, I mostly just kind of did a super quick sketch of the dragon in her official art, and gonna call that a day. Saturation, no. Brightness, contrast, yes. Just crush that contrast a little bit. That didn't really work. And then let's drop the saturation. Can we crush that contrast more? A little bit. All right, we're gonna merge that down. We're gonna merge that down. Let's see. Yeah, if we press that, if we lighten that just a little bit, I think that'll look better. There we go. Maybe that's too light. I'm playing with it. I think I like. Ooh, if we go really dark, I want to go too dark, but we could go pretty dark. Let's add a gradient to the thing, though. Other way. Yeah. And then drop that to light. There we go. That'll bring that up. Then we can put in like some wispiness. Oh, that's why. On a new layer. I even do with it. a little bit in front. Yeah, and then let's do a little bit of, not quite that. Nah, that's fine. We'll just stick with a little bit of that gray wispiness and dance a few around. Kind of give that mysterious look to it. There we go. I'm gonna say that looks pretty cool at this point. Definitely conveys Neon, I think. At least kind of looks like her. All right, well, that's been another 3-hour stream. And I keep telling myself I'm gonna stop doing 3-hour streams, but then, you know, it just kind of, you just kind of get going and you do it and you're there and you're like, well, I guess this is where we're at. Though, yeah, I need to adjust this, sharpen these a little bit. There we go. Let me actually add one more quick touch-up layer, because there's a few little spots like right there that I'd rather have be cleaner. I like that to be a bit cleaner. I like the chin to be a bit cleaner. Let's, anything else? Yep. Let's touch that up to be a bit cleaner. Touch that up there. Yep, there. There. Oh, for sure there. All right, that's much better looking. Oh, arm. Okay, there we go. Touch up done. Yep, calling that there. All right, been a good stream. Thank you for coming, Code. Always appreciate it. You have yourself a good one. I will catch you later. Oh, right. I did mention this at the beginning, but just a quick heads up. I had to change the time on my stream tomorrow, so yeah, that got moved from 5 to 1, so 4 hours earlier than whatever it is for you. Anyway, gonna call that, and you have yourself a good one. Take care.